Alright guys, welcome back to our last set for this chapter, and after this we'll do a little bit of a project on some data and statistics, so you might need your device if you've got that handy. That's next lesson though. So just quickly, we're going to look at dot plots and stem and leaf plots, and you might remember them from years 9, maybe 8 and 9. Otherwise we'll just go through them. So dot plots are used for small sets of numerical data. So numerical is numbers that are close together. All right, so look at the first example here. You got 32, 30, 31, 32. These are all really close together. So we can use a dot plot. All right, if they're further apart, dot plots are not the best option. So look at this data set here. You got 54 to 70 to 90. This data set is too big for a dot plot. All right, stem and leaf plots are used for larger sets. So instead of a dot plot, we'd use a stem and leaf plot. All right, so a dot plot is really simple. It's just got the axis along the bottom with whatever numbers you might need. And then above the numbers goes how many you had of that number. So above 31 here, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 31s. So when you make them, you go through your data set and you go, I have 1 31, 2 31, 3 31s, 4 31s, 5 31s, 6 31s, and you'd put the dots on as you come across them and also cross them out of the data set so you know you've used them. Okay? So there is one dot per data point. Okay? Stem and leaf plots are a little bit different. Okay? They're called stem and leaf because we look at the numbers and we chop them up into different parts. Okay, so we look at 54 here. We're going to chop it up into the tens digit, so that's 50, and 4, which is the ones digit. Okay, now all the stems are tens digits. So if you look at the numbers, you have a 5, a 4, a 5, you have a 3 here, you have a 7 there, you have a 6 there, you have a 9 there. All right, so you can put in the stems you need, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Notice in the data set there were no 80 numbers, and in the stem and leaf plot, 8 is still there, but there's no numbers next to it. Okay, very important that we do this. Once we've done the stems, which are the tens digits, we just go through the data set and we list them, the ones digits, as the leaves next to their corresponding stems. So 37, the 7 goes next to the 3. 38, the 8 goes next to the 3. For 70, the 0 goes next to the 7. All right, once we've listed all the numbers and crossed them off, we finish with a key. And the key tells us how to read any of the numbers on there. So the key says if I have a 3 as a stem, we know it's a stem because it's on the left-hand side of that line. With another number on the right-hand side of the line, I read it as 37. So we might say, okay, so I have a 6 here and a 2 there. That would be 6, 2, and I read it as 62. And if you don't tell people how to read your stem and leaf plot, I could choose to say, okay, so I think that stem is actually the hundreds digit, and that's the tens digit. So that number, 6, 2, I'm going to choose to read it as 620. And we know that that's not true for this data set, so we've got to tell people exactly how to read it. Okay? The last thing to do is to make sure that the leaves are in order. So see up here how we have 7, 8, 7, 8. They should be as 7, 7, 7, 8. And that should really be 7, 7, 8, 8, like that. All right, so the leaves need to be in order. The stems need to be in order. And we include any stems even if they don't have numbers. And we finish with a key. All right, so those are the two graphs we're going to be using today. You can see here that example 1 is a dot plot. Example 2 is a stem and leaf plot. All right, so for this one dot plot, for this one stem and leaf plot, then each question will tell you what they want you to use. So question 2 says to draw a dot plot. Question 3 says to draw a dot plot. Question 5 says to show this information on a stem and leaf plot. Okay, and then question 6 says stem and leaf plot, and then asks you some questions about it. We're not going to be working on this chapter problem here, so don't worry about that.